Flosstube, how are you? Welcome to my channel, Stitching with the Waves. I'm Jennifer and this is my channel about cross stitch and petite point. So it's been about 3 weeks since I made my last video and I am super excited that since that video I now have 500 subscribers, which is like just mind-blowing to me. When I first started doing these videos and making these videos a few months ago, I was just hoping to have a few people who would watch and like what I stitched. I feel like I don't stitch a lot of the really popular designers like some people do on Flosstube, like I don't stitch Lizzie Kate or Mila Belia or a lot of the really popular designers, and so I wasn't sure if anybody would really be interested in the style of things that I stitch. So I'm shocked that there are that many of you who want to watch, and thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It's a lot of fun to make these videos and share with you guys. So I really appreciate that you take the time to watch them. I know there are tons of other Flosstubers out there that you could check out, and I appreciate you watching my channel. I have a little bit more that I'll talk about with that at the end of the video, so stay tuned. Quick update since last time. I survived crazy October. It was nuts, super busy, tons going on, but made it through. That's done. And then as soon as November started, went on 2 back-to-back trips. So that was kind of nuts as well, but I'm back now and getting settled back into the routine. So we had, let's see, before I left on my trips, we had Halloween, which was crazy in itself. We knew there was going to be a storm coming through, a big cold front moving in, and there was a storm coming along with it, and it looked like it might happen right during trick-or-treating hours. So everybody in our neighborhood went out really early for us. We probably started around 5, which is usually we don't start till like 6:30 or so. So it was really early, but we were able to get in a couple of hours of trick-or-treating and get that done and have a fun night and enjoy it. It was still warm because the cold front hadn't come through yet, which was great. The kids didn't have to, cover up their costumes with a bunch of heavy coats and stuff. So they had a really good time. And when it started to get super windy with the front coming in, they came back to the house, and pretty soon, they were home maybe 30 minutes or less, and then the heavy storm came through, and it was a nice spooky Halloween night, falling asleep to the thunderstorm. So that was kind of cool. My younger daughter, Caitlin, was super sweet, you guys. I love peanut butter cups, and she doesn't like them at all, the Reese's peanut butter cups. So she told me when she got home that if, some people just give you the candy, right? But sometimes people will just hold out the bowl and tell the kids to take, help yourself to whatever you would like. And so anytime somebody did that, she got me a peanut butter cup if they had one. So I now have this huge stash of peanut butter cups for my husband and I to eat. So that's not so good for my waistline, but she's super sweet to do that instead of like being greedy to get candy for herself. It was really sweet that she thought of me and brought me all those peanut butter cups. So that was really sweet of her. And then right after that, I left with my older daughter, Emily. We took a trip for her 10th birthday to New York City. We went with her 2 best friends and their moms, and we just did all the New York tourist stuff. So we went, we saw Wicked and Mean Girls on Broadway. We ate in Little Italy for dinner and then went to get cannolis at the bakery afterwards. We ice skated in Rockefeller Center and went to FAO Schwartz and the Lego store there. We took a bus tour one evening around the city. So it was just a ton of fun with her, to celebrate with her and her friends, because it's a big birthday, it's a big thing. So she really had a great time. And then as soon as I finished that trip, I came back, I was home for about 24 hours, and then I left on my annual girls trip, just me and a couple of friends. We've been vacationing together I think we added it up. We think it's been about 14 years now. We missed a few years when one or the other of us would have like a little tiny baby, still nursing, or was just born, and we couldn't make it work out. So it's been 14 years since we started going. Not quite 14 trips, but 14 years. And this year we just rented a house in Florida that had a pool, and we just hung out by the pool, and we took a day to do some shopping and go to a spa to get facials. And the rest of the time we just hung out at the house, made some good food, and just really enjoyed getting to see each other. We all used to live here in the DC area, but over the years, some people had moved away, and so now we try to meet up in various places, around the country, internationally. Last year we went to Iceland. As our kids have started to get older, it's easier to travel a little bit further and do a little more. So it's just great to have a group of friends who I can escape with for a long weekend every year. It's really a lot of fun. So I am back, I am recharged, which is good because here comes the holidays, fast and furious, right? So time to get ready, time to figure out what we're doing, where are we celebrating Thanksgiving, are we hosting, are we going somewhere, same thing for Christmas, it's time to start shopping for gifts, all that stuff. So we love Christmas here. Usually I decorate Thanksgiving weekend. Sometimes we end up putting the tree up early because I just can't, I get tired, you know, the kids are constantly, when are we gonna put the tree up, when are we gonna put the tree up? And why not? You know, we can celebrate Thanksgiving even with the tree up. I'm fine with that. So we'll see when that happens. But I have been working hard on my Christmas projects. I feel like I haven't stitched that much because I was gone. Like to New York, I didn't even take any stitching projects. I knew there were 6 of us riding in the car, so we hardly had any room for luggage. So we were all cramming into just a couple of suitcases. And I knew there wasn't gonna be room to take stitching or time really to do it. So I didn't even take anything there. On my other trip, I did have pretty much a full day where I just sat and stitched. So that was fun. But I also had other days here and there, you know, while I was trying to pack and repack and get everything done around the house. So I had quite a few days where I didn't stitch at all. But when I pulled my stuff out this morning to see what I had, you know, what I had done since my last video, I've done a lot more than I thought I did. I actually worked on almost all of my whips since my last video. I haven't necessarily made a lot of progress, but I did touch all of them and do something on all of them pretty much. So I will show all of you that stuff right now. I forgot comments. So let's do comments first. So I just really had one. Thank you so much to everybody who commented on Garden Stars. I had shown in my last video that I had completed stitching it. It took me about 12 years. So that was a major accomplishment to get it finished. And everybody, you know, raved about it and commented how beautiful it was. So I really appreciate those comments. Thank you so much. And somebody asked me what I'm going to do with it. So I started Garden Stars during a time in my life when I had thought, oh, I'm in a decorating rut. I always use everything blue. I had just moved into a new house pretty recently and decided that, you know, maybe I should branch out and not just use blue in every single room. I'll pick some different colors. So I picked green for my guest room. And don't start a major cross stitch project in a color that's like not your favorite or not something that you would typically use. Because what happens is you redecorate before you ever get the project done. So I don't have a room to put that in anymore. I've moved houses since then, like it's just been so long. And I've also come to embrace the fact that I love blue. Blue makes me, when I use my blue in my decorating, it makes me feel calm and relaxed and serene. And I just really like the vibe that it gives to a room. So I have pretty much every single room in my house has some blue in it somehow. So for now, Garden Stars is just gonna go in, I'm gonna wrap it up in muslin and just roll it up so it doesn't get fold marks and put it in, you know, my version of the under the bed box. And I'm fine with that. It's just not a piece that I want to put the money into framing right now. It's not a piece that I want to finish myself some way other than framing. I don't know, something's just telling me, just put it away. One day there will be something to do with this, a person to give it to, a place to put it, something like that. And I'm going to want to frame it. So for now, just leave it so that it can be professionally framed one day. I don't know why, I don't know what to say, but I expect that someday I will realize, oh, this is what I'm supposed to do with Garden Stars. And I'll finish it then and you know, frame it then and do whatever it is. That, I don't know, that probably sounds crazy that like one day I'm just gonna like know what to do with it, but whatever, hopefully you've had that happen and you know and you don't think I'm crazy. But for now, it's just gonna get put away. So thank you all so much for the love on it. I really appreciate it. I do have a couple of other really old UFOs and I'm planning to try to get them out and work on them over, I don't know when exactly, I don't have plans to pull them out quite yet, but I will certainly show you when I do, and hopefully I get a couple of those finished off as well. Okay, let's see where we are at. Time for finishing. So you saw in the title of my video, I have finished those wood spool ornaments. So real quickly, I want to give you a little bit of the history. So I had these 4 ornaments that I made probably about 20 years ago. Sorry, I'm trying to show all of them to you at once, but apparently I cannot get my hands arranged today. Okay, here we go. So these are the ornaments. This is not going well. These are, I guess, painted green and red, and I'll just show you individually. So they've each got a bead on the bottom with twine, painted spool. This one's just got gold stars. This one says Noel with the heart for the O. This one is one of, I think, probably my favorite one. It's got the little trees. Why is it not focusing? I thought the others focused, but now it's getting my face and it won't focus for you. There we go. Okay, so the trees and the little reindeer. I like that one the best. And then this one is gingerbread people and hearts. Okay, so those came out of this book, Timeless Ornaments. And it says on the back here, Leisure Arts presents, I can't read it backwards, you guys, Christmas Remembered, Book 10, and the copyright date is 1995. I think that I probably stitched these around 95. I probably got the book around then. I probably stitched them sometime between 95 and 98. So, put it down over there. Okay, so those were the original ones. I had left these out because over the years that twine was used for hanging them, got really shredded up from hanging them on the fake Christmas tree branches. So I kept those out. I just changed out the twine so they look fantastic. And then I wanted to make some more. I wanted to use the 40 count linen and stitch a few more of them. So here is one of the ones that I finished. I gotta get out of the way again, you guys. There we go. So this is one from this year. This is on the natural linen, 40 count natural linen. And most of these patterns I just pulled out of Antique Pattern Library. Most of them were monochrome, just one color. And so I picked out 2 colors of red and green. These I want to set in a bowl with my Quaker ball, my Christmas Quaker ball. So I picked the red and the green that were used in that so that they'll coordinate. And then I used these little gold beads that I found at Michael's. And I just used some ribbon to finish it off. So I have a little slideshow. I will show you all of these in a minute, but I have a little slideshow. So I'm hoping that this works out. I wanted to kind of show you how I assembled them and how I finished them, getting them like from being on the stitch piece of fabric through to finishing them. Because I thought some of you might be interested in that. So I'm going to attempt to put the pictures on the screen while I'm still talking. So hopefully, I'm gonna look away because I'm gonna look at my computer screen so I can see what picture I'm talking about. Hopefully you're just gonna see the picture and hopefully I can figure out how to make that work in the editing process. All right, so here we go. This first picture is, I stitched all of the pieces on one piece of, like 5 ornaments on one piece of fabric. So 5 of them on 40 count natural linen and 5 of them on 40 count ivory linen, all in a row, stacked on top of each other. And I left 1 inch in between the stitching. So that way I could cut them apart and have a 1/2 inch border on the top and the bottom. So that's just a picture with the natural linen. You can see all 5 of them there lined up. So the next thing I did was, and I did them all on the same piece of linen just to conserve the linen. If I had stitched each of them on their own piece of fabric, I would have needed to leave a lot more border and that would, be kind of wasteful of the linen. So I just stitched them there. I left 1 inch in between because a 1/2 inch border would be enough for finishing. So the next step is I cut them apart. So here they are, some of the ivory and the natural linen all cut apart. I left the full width of the fabric. I just cut them up separate from each other. And then I had taken a scrap piece of linen and folded it and pressed it and wrapped it around, just like trial and error, wrapped it around one of the wooden spools to figure out how tall and how long I needed to cut my stitching pieces so that it would fit on that spool. So I believe I did it 1¼ inches tall was the finished size by 3 inches long. So you can see along, I just finger pressed to the back, the hem allowance on the top and the bottom. And this was a very stiff linen, so I didn't need to iron it. I was able to just finger stitch it, and then I did a 3-inch long strip of either blanket stitch or whip stitch to finish the edges. So you can see, I think I used the red thread on all of these, except for the very center one that's short. It looks like that one I used the green thread. So I did a blanket stitch on some and I did whip stitch on some. So I just put a ruler down on top of my stitching, lined up the center mark, and then used a needle to mark the 3-inch. So it would be, the 3 inches would be centered on the piece of stitching. So that one little short ornament in the center, that was the first one I did, and I cut the extra flat part off of the end. I cut it to the 3 inches before I did the finishing stitching on the end. Don't do that if you try this. It's really, really hard to hold on to the piece of stitching if you trim it down. Having all that extra fabric to hold on to was really helpful when I was trying to stitch the edges. So don't trim to the 3-inch length until after you've done the stitching. So that is the next step. After you get the top and the bottom sides finished, then this is the back side. I flipped them over, and on one end, which is on the left side of the photo for most of those except for one. So on the left side, if you look on the left side of most of those ornaments, you can see where I've kind of folded over a little flap to make a folded edge, and then the other edge I left flat. I didn't fold it. And then I used a piece of like the thinnest iron-on interfacing that I could find. That's one of the tips I've learned from watching Vanna, the Twisted Stitchers videos. She puts interfacing on pretty much everything, and it just gives, even the thin, fine little interfacing, just gives a little bit more structure, especially to these very flimsy fabrics, and it just makes them much easier to work with. I also used that interfacing to hold down that flap. I made sure the piece of interfacing was long enough it went over the flap, so it would hold it down so it wouldn't pop up and stick up when I finished the ornament. So let me just review that I didn't leave out any steps here. Look at my notes. Okay, so the next thing, I will link in the description box the wooden spools I used. Supposedly you can buy them, like my Michaels and Joann's didn't have the type of spools I wanted. These are wooden waisted spools, which means the center part is skinnier. Usually the spools that we buy nowadays for sewing thread, the plastic ones, they're straight sides. These spools are hourglass shaped. I wanted that. I couldn't find them at my local Michaels or Joann's, so I ended up just ordering them online. So I'll put the link in there in case you're interested in those. I used some stain that I had, and then I just used a light coat of a wipe-on poly stain that you apply with lint-free cloth. I just wanted to make sure that none of the stain color would end up transferring to the stitching over time. So once those were all done and dry and ready to go, I just wrapped these finished pieces of stitching just like this. I wrapped them around and where they overlapped, I just used a little bit of Aleene's tacky glue to hold down the seam. So this is the finished spool right there. You can see the stitching is wrapped around it, it's been stained, it's all done. So then to finish it, I just used 2 gold beads that I had purchased in one of those strings of beads at Michael's. So you can see I hope that the pictures show up the same way for you. On the right side is just a piece of ribbon. There's 2 ends there. So the ribbon was too floppy to be able to push it through the bead. So what I did was wrap the end of the ribbon with a tiny piece of Scotch tape. I wrapped it really tightly. So it makes it kind of like the tip of a shoelace. So you can more easily thread the end of the ribbon through the bead. So you thread one end of the ribbon through the bead, and then you take both ends of the ribbon up through the spool, up through a second bead, and then this particular one I'm going to make an ornament that can hang on a tree. So I tied the ribbon like I left some space and then tied the ribbon so that you can put a, an ornament hook or just hang it, the ribbon directly over the branch of the tree. So that's it for the pictures. So I'll show you the rest of the finished ornaments. So I have, I think, 6 here. This is like the glued edge. Let me get my face out of the way. That's the glued edge right there that you can see. Glued it down nice and flat. And then, oops, I have that one upside down. There's the ribbon through the bead up through the center of the spool, put a second bead, and then these I just want to put in a bowl with my Quaker ball. So I just tied the ribbon right against the bead rather than leaving space for hanging. This is one of my favorite patterns. Oh, I wish I could figure out how to get it to not focus on my face when I don't want it to focus on my face. There we go. This one. And then a couple more that are from my Quaker ball. Oh my. You guys, the camera's not happy with focusing for me today. Let me get fully out of the way. Hand up. There we go. Okay, this one, I'm gonna try to not take one down until I have the next one ready to pick up so that it stops focusing like crazy. Oh, that didn't work. It's too fast for me. This is a pineapple version that I made for my daughter who really likes pineapples. You guys, this is an old camera, so it doesn't have that thing where you can click on the screen to show where you want it to focus. But I wonder if there's some way to take off the setting where it focuses on my face so much. So I put the date on there, 2019, 2 little pineapples. And then on this one, I felt like it looked better with the twine. So I just tied a knot in the twine at the top instead of putting a second bead. I just felt like that looked better. And then this is the little kitty cats for my other daughter. So I put a heart and the date there because she really loves cats. So those are the 2 ornaments for the year. And I think that covers the spool ornaments. All right, if you have any questions about how I finished those or want me to, post the other details, if I left something out, if you didn't understand, let me know. I'm happy to share with that because I think they came out really cute and they were really easy to do. So if you're interested in making some, I highly recommend you do it. They were pretty quick and easy. It just took me a long time to get them FFO'd because I'm slow. All right, so my other finish, I have 2 finishes today. This is just a stitching finish, not a FFO. But I was working on the Christmas house last time. I just had 1 compartment left to finish the motif for that. So that's this one, Noel. There we go, finish the Noel. And then I'll just show you real quickly the other pieces. So there's this tree, the sleigh, the rocking horse, birdhouse ornament, this ornament, little soldier in a stocking, reindeer, and some more of those like shiny bright Christmas ornaments. So this is ready to FFO. So I just have to figure out how I want to finish the house, if I'm going to paint it or stain it, because I've gotten a wooden house at a thrift shop. So it needs a little bit of work. So I got to get that taken care of and then get these pieces all mounted. So hopefully I'll have that for my next video. That's my plan, is to get working on that and get it FFO'd. So those are my 2 finishes for today. Thanks for checking them out. Let's do whips. So I'm working on Jardin Privé, the Eiffel Quaker. I'm changing up several of the motifs in this so that it will be things that my daughter, this is a piece for my older daughter, Emily, and I want to, make some motifs. Sorry, I'm trying to get the extra thread out of the way. I wanted to change up some of the motifs for her so that it kind of fits her personality and personalizes it for her. So here we go. I had the Eiffel Tower done before. I started that rectangular motif next to it there. So I really like the color choices for this. It's coming out really pretty. And my goal is still to get that done this year, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna make it or not. Next, I have the Stitching Book Club. So that is from Kristen at Sapphire Mountain Handcrafts. You can get the pattern on Etsy. It's been released in 3 parts. So we get Stitch the Pattern, and we also read Pride and Prejudice. Now I have missed both of the discussion days for the books. The first day was just a crazy, crazy October day. And then the second day I was in New York City, and I was hoping to be able to like pop on a little bit and respond, but my battery on my phone, you guys, I gotta get a new phone because the battery was draining so quickly. And I tried turning off everything, but we needed the phone in order like to find the directions for getting around the city, right? To like look up what train do we need to take and all that stuff. So I didn't want to use up all my battery and be like, oh, I don't have any battery and we don't know where we're supposed to be going because I was too busy talking about books online. So I missed the second day too, which was disappointing, but there's still the third day. So I'm gonna jump in for that. So this is the full-size pattern, and that is where I'm at. So this is most of part 2, except for about 4 sort of Quaker type medallions that go here and here. So I had wanted to see part 3 before I did any more stitching on this part 2 because I wasn't quite sure how I wanted to switch up the colors. But I love how this vase with the flowers turned out, so pretty. And then the other motifs are just pretty much, you know, extending what I had done before on the border and some of the other motifs that I'd already done. So part 3 came out while I was away on vacation. So I am going to pick this one back up now that I'm back. I need to, you know, I took a quick look while I was on vacation at the part 3 of the pattern and started thinking about what I wanted to do. So I think I'm gonna finish the border on that, and as I'm stitching on the border, kind of really do some thinking about how I want the rest of it to be and, you know, what colors I want to do where and stuff like that. So that will be coming soon. I think I had finished part 2 of the mini Sal. I'm doing that in Petite Point. I didn't pull that out to show you today because I think I had just had a couple of lines of background filling left to do, so there's not really anything for you to see there. But I'm also going to get working on that coming up here soon. I had kind of fallen off the wagon with doing my daily 30 of Petite Point stitching. I didn't get any Petite Point done at all since my last video. Did I already say that? Kind of feel like I already said that, but whatever. I didn't get any done with traveling. I can't see it with my travel magnifier and stuff. It's just not ideal. And before I left, I was really trying to get that Christmas house done and get those ornaments finished. I have a few ornaments that I'm sending out as gifts and stuff. So I was really focusing on trying to get that stuff done. So I skipped and wasn't doing my 30 minutes a day on Petite Point, which is fine. Now that I'm back though, I really want to get back on track with doing that because when I do those 30 minutes a day, I see so much progress. Like it really does move along those projects quickly since they're so small. So I want to make sure that I get back to that now. All right, so I think this is my last whip. This is the Quaker ball from Fleur de Lys, Quaker ball to Noel. And I have quite a bit finished. I'll show you back here first. So this time I did, where is it? This octagon here. And then I also started 2 of the hexagons. So this one with the little tree and with the little, I think it actually, like it's got kind of a tall steeple. I think it might be a little church. So that is 2 hexagons. There are 8 total. So I only have 6 motifs left to go on this project and then it will be done. So that's super exciting. It's moving along. Oh, no, I lied. I have 1. Nope. I don't know what I was talking about. 1 more whip. I have 2 more whips after that. Okay. So this is from Paulette Stewart, The 12 Days of Christmas. This is a freebie on her blog. If you haven't seen it before, she posted it quite a while ago. I think it was like 2015, 2016. So it's out there. She is the designer for Plum Street Samplers. And here we go. That's where that's at. So it's coming along pretty quickly. Last time, I think I had finished 3rd day. This time I did 7th day, and I did all the little swans there. So that's done. Only got a few days left on that. And then this piece is what I took with me on my trip to Florida. I did this linen band, will be the second of the 2 candle wraps. I'd already finished the one that was on the natural linen banding. This one's the ivory linen banding. And this is just a pattern from Antique Pattern Library. It is so close to being done. I was kind of disappointed I didn't have enough time to finish it on vacation. So, sorry about that. Over here on this side, this green is pretty much the edge and just sticks out a little bit. So I have the, oh my gosh, you guys, struggling with this today. Okay. Sorry. Okay, here we go. So I have the green border finished here, and then I just have to finish extending this red motif out like the other side. And there's a tiny bit of red back stitching that I need to do over here in this middle section as well. So not much at all. I should hopefully be able to finish this one today or tomorrow, and then get that candle assembled as well. So that is exciting. Very close. Hopefully I'll have a finish for you on that one next time too. Let me pull my other piles over here, get a little organized. Okay, so that is now all of my whips. And like I said, I didn't do any petite points, so hopefully I'll have some to show you next time for that. I didn't do any new starts either. I'm being very good. I'm just focusing on getting that stuff done. I have a tiny bit of haul to show you. This is the, what's it called? This is the Floss Fix from Fat Quarter Shop. It's a classic Colorworks cotton thread club. And this month's colors were, I think it's called Swiss Mocha. I forget where I put the package, but these are all the brown colors that came in it. I think it was Swiss Mocha. So really pretty browns. Those are gonna be great. I had picked out quite a few colors of brown to use in my monthly series that I'm planning to stitch next year in 2020, and none of them overlap these, so that's great. I've got a really good collection, and I really like some of these, so I might switch out a few of these for some of those colors, but we'll see. So that came, and then I also lost my mind. I didn't take these out of the plastic because you can't really see anything anyway. There's not a whole lot to see, but this is 48, 50, and 60 count silk gauze. It's just a little tiny, you can kind of see it in there in the plastic, a little tiny 4x4 inch square of each of those counts, 48, 50, and 60 count. I've had a few projects that I want, things that I've seen that I would really like to, patterns I'd like to miniaturize and stitch on silk gauze, but 40 count silk gauze, which is all I have right now, would be too large, so I needed something smaller, and I don't know, you guys, this stuff is really tiny, so I'm not sure how well that's gonna go, but I figured get a little 4x4 inch square of each one and just see how it goes, right? Like, you don't know until you try, so I'm gonna try. We'll see how that works. All right, so plans. I'm gonna keep working on FFOing my big pile of finishes. I still have like 7 or 8 things left to FFO. A couple of them are Christmas things, like that Christmas house, and then as soon as I have that candle wrap finished, I'll get that. So I'm just trying to focus on the Christmas stuff. I have some ornaments left that I need to FFO as well. So I'll show you all that stuff when it gets done. Hopefully here in the next couple of weeks, I can really focus on FFOing and getting those done. Then I've got the Stitching Book Club, SAL, both the mini and the regular. So I'm gonna work on those, try and get them. I'm just trying to decide if I wanna focus on those and getting them done, or if I wanna focus on getting my Christmas projects. I have the candle wrap, which like I said, should be done today or tomorrow, but then I still have the Quaker ball and the 12 Days of Christmas. Both of those have 5 or 6 motifs left to go before they're done. So I could finish both of those if I don't stitch anything else between now and Christmas. But I want to stitch other stuff between now and Christmas. So I'm trying to decide if I want to focus on just those 2 and have all my Christmas stitching done, or if I want to say, it's okay, I don't, you know, those can get finished for next year. I can put them aside now and finish them next year, or I could pick one of them to finish this year and leave the other one for next year. I don't know. I can't decide what I want to do. I wish there were a few more weeks before Christmas, because there's so much I want to do, and I don't know. Maybe I'll just do a rotation and, you know, pull together all the things that I want to work on for the rest of the year, and just start, you know, rotating through. And if I get one done, I get one done. If I don't, I don't know. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I know for sure I'm going to finish that candle wrap first, and then I guess I'll just see what moves me, you know, like what, just, you know, kind of get them all out and look at them all and see what I think I want to try and accomplish. So that's my plan there. And then I have one other thing. I have been doing the seasonal series from Little House Needleworks that goes with the Belle Soie patterns. So this is winter. I've already stitched summer and fall, summer and autumn. I showed you autumn FFO'd a few weeks ago. So this is winter. And it came with Vanilla Pudding Belle Soie, which is this color here. And I had originally intended to stitch all of these on the same, you guys, I showed you every single one of my whips and didn't tell you a single fabric or thread or anything this time. Good thing they're all whips, so you can always go back and look at an old video and see what I said, if I remember to say it there. I am terrible about that. Okay, anyway, if you need to know what fabric or thread or whatever I used on one of my projects, just ask me in the comments and I'll let you know. I'm not going back and redoing this. I'm so bad about that, and I have it all written down on my notes sheet and I still didn't do it. Okay, whatever. Here we go. I wanted to use the same fabric. My plan was to use the same fabric for all of these Little House Needleworks seasons. So that was 32 count platinum Lugana, but this Vanilla Pudding won't show up on that. So that's this one. I had done some test stitches, and you can't, not only can I not see it to stitch it, but it just doesn't, it's showing up darker here than what it is in real life. There's not enough contrast between the two. So I took a piece of it and coffee dyed it. I did it twice. I did it once for about 15 minutes, and then I just did it again this morning for about 20 more minutes because I felt like it wasn't dark enough. So this is the platinum here, the original color. This is the coffee dyed platinum. So I am hoping that that will now be enough of a contrast. I had done it once and then made a few little test stitches, and it wasn't dark enough, so I just redid it for like 20 more minutes this morning. So I'm hoping that's going to be dark enough. I need to put a few test stitches in that and see if that's going to work out. And then I want to have it done for putting up in January when we take down our Christmas decorations. If I have it done, I'll just go ahead and put it up at Christmas time too. But I don't know that if I want to get my other Christmas stuff finished. So this is again like where I'm like, what do I want to work on and what do I want to get accomplished here? If I start switching over and adding this project in and stitching on this, you know, whatever, it'll get done when it gets done. But I wanted to get the fabric situation figured out. So at least I think I have something now that will work for the fabric for that. If I do some test stitches and it doesn't work, I don't know if I'll try and make it even darker. I don't want it to be super mottled, so I didn't do the baking thing, but maybe, I don't know, have any of you tried the baking the fabric? I know when you bake it, you're supposed to crumple it, and then the parts that are sticking up higher get darker. If I baked it flat, would the whole thing get darker? Would that help darken it up a little more? I'm not sure. If you have tried that baking thing and you know what I'm talking about and you have any experience with that, let me know your thoughts, if that would work or not. Because I'm not sure if that is dark enough yet, but I'm gonna figure that out over the next few weeks, I guess. Okay, so now we are back to the 500 subscriber thing. So it's, I guess, pretty traditional on Flosstube. Everybody I see, when you hit a milestone of subscribers, everybody does a giveaway. So I wanted to do that too. So I was trying to think about what could I give away. I don't have a huge stash like a lot of people do, and most of my patterns I'm still using, I'm going to keep, or I use a lot of antique pattern library patterns that are just freebies. So I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, and I started thinking, like, most of my comments that I get when I show the petite point, a lot of people say, I want to try petite point one day. And I just started like a year and a half ago. There was definitely like a learning curve associated with that, because when I started looking at how to do it, I didn't have the silk gauze, I didn't have small enough needles, I didn't have, you know, floss that might be the right thickness, because it seemed like for a lot of it, DMC might be too thick, whatever. I didn't know, I wasn't sure what to do with that and how to get started. So what I ended up doing was purchasing a kit, and that came with everything. So that is what I have done for you guys. I got a kit that I'm going to give away today, and I'll show you the, let me take it out, sorry, I should have taken this all out of the plastic beforehand, but I didn't. I'll show you everything that comes with it. I picked one that people, even who don't have a miniature house, could do. So this is the kit here. It's from Francis Peterson Petite Point, and it's called the Blue Bakhtiari, I don't know how to pronounce that word, pillow kit. So this is the picture of it. There's the name. It's stitched on 40 count silk gauze, and if you don't want to make it a pillow, it finishes 1 inch by 1 1/4 inch square. So you could turn it and add a ribbon right up here and make it into a scissor fob very easily. So I got this kit because Francis's directions are super good. They are super clear. It comes here. There's a whole like 2-page pamphlet with the chart and everything. And it comes with everything that you need in order to do the pillow kit. So it comes with the 40 count silk gauze already mounted onto this cardboard, taped on there for you, ready to go, ready to use. So you don't have to do anything but pick up and start stitching. It comes with the silk floss. These are NPI silks. That doesn't work so well. You're gonna have a piece of white paper to put things on. I should know that by now. Okay, so these are NPI silks. There's a couple of blues and a mint green and a couple of grayish colors. They're really pretty. I love these colors, which is the main reason I picked this pattern. It felt like they were very me. Then it comes with size 26 needle right there, so you're ready to go. You don't have to have an itty bitty little needle. It's got this piece of fabric, which is for, go hide again. This little piece of fabric is the backing. It's microfiber. It is not focusing. Microfiber fabric. Okay, you don't really need to see the microfiber fabric up that close, I guess. And then this is a little piece of DMC, I guess it's DMC, it's a pearl cotton. So that is what you use as the cording to finish around the edge. And then the one thing she does not include is the filler. So you can use polyfill, just like you would stuff, you know, any other filling thing. Or you can use glass beads, which is what Frances uses herself and what I personally prefer to use. I have glass beads, so I'm gonna make a little baggie of glass beads to include in this kit so that you have literally everything that you need in order to do this project and to finish it. So that's something that you're interested in and you think you would stitch it, please enter the giveaway. We're gonna do all the same rules that everybody else on Flosstube does. Don't say giveaway, don't say winner, don't say any of those words that might cause the trolls to come and see and enter the giveaway. I want this to go to one of you who's been watching my videos and really is interested in actually stitching Petite Point and trying it out. Please be a subscriber, all the normal rules and stuff. I will do the drawing right before my next video. I'll do it like the morning of or the night before my next video. Usually I record, it's been every 3 weeks lately, and I think that it probably will be every 3 weeks, you know, 3 more weeks again. It might be 2 weeks, but before my next regular Flosstube video, I will do the drawing for the giveaway. I'll use that random YouTube comment picker, and the keyword that I'll put in there is pillow. So if you want to enter the giveaway, be sure you use the word pillow in your comment, and I will do the drawing right before my next video. And the question I'd like you to answer, if you want to enter, is what is the highest thread count fabric you've ever stitched on? I was just curious. Before I started Petite Point, the highest thing I'd ever stitched on was 36 count, and that was pretty much just over 2. Then I moved to doing 28 and 32 count over 1, and then I started 36 over 1, 40 over 1. So like I said, I just got the 48, 50, and 60 count silk gauze. So pretty soon my number will change, you know, be able to bump it up there and say I've tried something even smaller. So let me know, what's the highest thread count fabric you've ever tried to use for a project, and how did it go? Did it work? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Did you find it challenging? Whatever. So I hope you're interested in that giveaway. If you are, you know, go ahead and enter. And I think that pretty much wraps it up. So it's been a lot of fun doing all these videos. I do have one special video planned coming up. If I release that before my next regular Flosstube video, that won't count for the giveaway. It's just I wanted to do a video on how to stitch the Tint Continental, which is what you do petite point for. With sending this kit out, I wanted to have like a video out there that shows you how to stitch the Tint Continental stitch. I've been trying to figure out how to do it and show it to you, and I think I figured out a way. So my plan is to get that recorded before my next video and get that posted as well, so that whoever wins this will have a video that they can watch to see how to do that stitch. I think that pretty much wraps it up. So have a great November, everybody. I hope you're getting prepared for the holidays coming up and getting lots of stitching time. Stay warm, and I'll see you next time. Bye.